What I want to talk about today was gossip and why you shouldn't worry about it. What triggered this is that somebody called me last night. And a fun fact, nobody ever calls me. Not family, no one ever calls me. And it's just become one of those things. It just is. That's it. They called me. I didn't answer because I don't talk to this person. And they're from the era in the past to where everybody back then, there was a group of people, they all talked about each other. Every last one of them talks about the other person as soon as they leave the room. And when you're around those kind of people, if you're anything like me, you're going to mind your P's and Q's, and any information that you do give them is going to be so comically fabricated, or it's going to be something so extreme that it sends them all on a wild goose chase. And it's not anything other than just to protect your peace and your personal life. That's it. But it triggered this, and I wanted to express to whomever as to something that I learned. And I wish somebody would have told me this prior to 2019, because I had a coming to Jesus meeting with somebody. They were a firm believer in avoiding gossip. Why you should not pay attention to what anybody says about you, because 9 times out of 10, it's not even about you. And that sounds confusing, doesn't it? What people will say about you says more about them than anything else. It ends up being completely about them, their insecurities, their boredom, their absolute need to feel important. People often believe what others say about them is an accurate reflection of who they are as an individual. But in reality, most of the time, it reveals more about the person who is gossiping rather than who they are gossiping about. Take this, for example. Someone calls you selfish because you won't help them move a couch, because you didn't cancel your plans to help them move furniture. You didn't drop everything for them. On the surface, you sound like a selfish individual. Oh my gosh, how dare you be like that? I thought you were a good friend to them. But in truth, it's not even about you. It's about that person's disappointment that you didn't drop everything for their demand. They wanted their needs to be met immediately. And when it did not happen, you got labeled with being selfish. You were labeled as the problem. Their frustration says more about their sense of entitlement than about your level of generosity. Another thing is, you'll post an accomplishment that you've done, whatever it is, on social media. And instead of somebody celebrating with you, they will absolutely indicate that you are bragging. And I'm sure people have heard that a time or two about anybody if they sit back and think about it. The truth is, any success that you may have stirs up an insecurity with whomever it is saying whatever, because they felt inadequate or overlooked. Instead of celebrating you or even with you, they projected their insecurities, their discomfort back onto you. The comment reveals their own struggle with their comparison, not a flaw within your character. And back in the past, up until 2019, sadly, I was jumping through hoops and trying to appease people's opinions, because I was told constantly that a group of people were making fun of me because of whatever. I could say more, but I'm just choosing not to. And I didn't understand it. Did not make a bit of sense. And I was up at night crying, giving myself ulcers, and just stressing myself out without understanding and realizing that it was just somebody's projection that they were placing onto me. Because at the end of the day, I found out that that is not why. People were not even, that wasn't on their radar. Now, why they were laughing, I don't know. But I don't even care anymore. Projection is one of those things that once you can realize when somebody's doing it, it is hard to miss. People will unload their fears, their frustrations, their disappointments, their insecurities onto others, making it sound like they're the problem. And if you aren't careful, you will end up carrying that baggage like it belongs to you in the first place. But their words are not your mirror. They are a window of their own unhealed places. If you live your life worrying about what other people say, you will end up handing them so much control over not only you and your life, but your peace of mind. Think about it. Why on earth would you give somebody that much leverage over that much of you when it's going to ultimately tamper with your sanity. Back then, I used to be so exhausted, and it wasn't so much that I worked a lot, even though I did work a lot, but it was because I was constantly and daily from all angles that you could possibly think of. People were telling me what somebody had said about me, what other people had posted of me. Oh my gosh, this person thinks this of you. What do you say about that? And when you are caught up in that, the best thing to do is to walk away. And if you can't walk away, you make up something so completely comical that whenever it gets back to whomever, if they know you, they should know beyond a shadow of a doubt. That's a lie. Trick is, do people actually really know you? In any event, the absolute messed up thing about it all is that when you are lying awake at night, worrying and crying yourself to sleep at like 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, not understanding why people are saying all this stuff about you when they don't even take the time to get to know you. That'll be you replaying every single conversation, every single moment, like it's a season finale within the drama that your anxiety is amped up within your mind. Because if you don't verbalize any of it, your mind will continuously replay that. And if you didn't have anxiety issues, you will by the end of it. But while you're doing that, the person who told you anything is sleeping like a baby, not even worrying about it. 9 times out of 10, they probably forgot what they even told you in the first place. That's what's so messed up about it. Opinions are absolutely cheap. Most of them aren't even worth listening to, though. Take my advice, please. You cannot build your identity out of any of that noise. It will exhaust you quicker than running 5 miles a day. So, stop worrying about any of it. Their words can only define you if you allow it. And you should have better things to do. Way more important than to audition for any of them and their approval. Because boo-boo, if they actually knew you, they wouldn't be gossiping about you, would they? So, the next time somebody throws a label at you, pause and ask yourself, does this really define me? Or is it revealing something that they are insecure about? Most of the time, you'll realize that it's not even about you at all. Once you see that clearly, boo-boo, you will be so free within your life because you won't have to be carrying any of their projections anymore. So, learn from my mistakes and be your own main character within your story because it is your life, not theirs.